What's up, everybody, and welcome to 3VO, where we're all on the same team. I'm your host for today, Jordan.
I'm your other host, Brendan.
And if you're new here, we're just two big old nerds that love video games so much that we just have to keep yelling about it. Although a little bit less because our equipment has changed. So if you have that same enthusiasm for video games that we do, this is definitely the place for you. Today, we're going to be talking about the game Ghost of Tsushima, but before we get to that, Brendan, how are we doing,
We're
buddy?
doing great. What's this radio announcer energy you have?
I know. I realized it before. I was like, the energy has just changed for some reason.
It's hard not to have a sort of shift in the energy because, um, I mean, there's equipment literally in front of our faces now.
Yeah, to address for our just
for
pure
our audio only
listeners, we have a whole new setup now because the one of the hosts for this show has moved.
Yay!
So we couldn't. But now there's like pretty much a dedicated space in the house.
Yeah.
For making content here.
It's pretty awesome. It's really nice to have a place that we're actually separate. We're not bothering anybody else in the house. Nobody's bothering us. The cats can't wander in.
Yeah.
Super nice. So, as you can tell, we are a little under construction. The set is not up. We have just a bare wall back here. But we've got some microphones. We've got some chairs. We're like a real podcast now.
I know. I think that's part of it too. Is like now it feels like a podcast.
Yeah, definitely. And we're still learning. And if we sound bad, we're sorry. And if we look bad, we're sorry. We're working on it. We're a work in progress.
Yeah, it might be a little janky for a little bit while we get stuff figured out. I'm still getting used to running some of the equipment, like the different sound equipment we have today.
Mm-hmm.
But so far, so good.
So far, so good. And we're still going to be bringing you the great video game content that you know and love. The same content that we've been doing for 58 episodes prior to this.
Yep.
Yeah. This is just era number 4. We're under construction, but after today, it's only going to get better and better.
Is that what we're calling era 4 under construction?
No, era 4 is under construction.
Oh, I see. Got it.
Just once we get the setup, just you wait.
Yeah.
Just you wait. What have you been up to personally? Everybody knows what I've been up to. I've been moving.
Yeah, it's pretty much been moving.
Yeah.
Which is, especially moving to a brand new house with other people and whatnot. That's just your time. That's just everything.
Yeah, that's literally been the whole last month and a half. So.
Yep. I've been doing good.
Yeah.
I've been doing really good, actually. I got to be in another music video, which was really, really cool. For those who don't know, my sister, Elise Schatz, look her up online. She's got all of her stuff online and whatnot. If you need a really good director for anything, book her. She's incredible. She's also basically got like a whole crew of people at her disposal for like anything you could need to. So she knows like anybody you would possibly need for shit. So definitely the person to go to as well. But she shot this music video where I don't want to give away too much depending on when this episode comes out, if the video is going to be up or not. But basically I had to do prosthetic work, which is also why we're regrowing the beard at the moment. Trust me, it was not an option I wanted to have. I got told, "Oh, we just need you to shave the mustache." And I was like, if I do that, I'm just going to look Amish.
Oh.
If I just keep the strap, basically, I'm just going to look bad for that.
Not that there's anything wrong with looking Amish.
There's nothing... These are personal opinions. These are
not. Jordan's opinions do not reflect the opinions of the 3VO podcast as a community.
I'm the only anti-Amish one here.
It's okay. They're not listening.
Yeah, they're... Apparently, they can use the internet.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm sure that they're listening to our podcast about video games.
Yeah.
What else have you been up to?
So yeah, there's that. It's been just here's the thing. Honestly, just in general, all around, I've just been doing good. Like I feel good. Like I have a lot more confidence in my body than I have in a long time.
Hell
like
yeah,
I just feel really, really nice right now.
Hell yeah.
And with the way that I'm like, I haven't got anything diagnosed, but I'm pretty sure I've got some form of like body dysmorphia. So when like, tomorrow that could go away and I'll hate the way I look and the way that I feel all of a sudden. But, for now, we're riding the high and just being like, I'm enjoying this.
Good for you.
I truly do. I cannot get out of this like NPR energy. It won't go away.
Well, I think it's because we have to stay focused and direct the audio directly into the microphone right in front of us, so
It's
it's like a
true.
focus of energy. It's good. It's still high energy. It's just focused.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. High energy and folk. Yeah, that's true. That's
I
true.
want to talk about your hair because I know you didn't
Yes.
shoot for this color, but I like it.
I had to sort of get over the hump of
Mm-hmm.
like it not being the color I wanted because I was
Yeah.
trying to go for like a pure silver,
Uh-huh.
which I learned afterwards from a lot of people. Well,
So
before I had to,
hard.
my wife tried to tell me, she was like, it's there's a good chance it might not happen. And I was
Uh-huh.
like, I think I could do it. And then
Yeah.
just like, yeah, it ended up like this. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I do like it. I look like I'm ready to be like a featured stuntman in like an old Jackie Chan movie, if that reference makes sense to you. Like, not anybody who like is like would be like a featured actor or like considered a villain,
No,
but
but
just
somebody
like,
that's got a cool stunt.
yeah, like a stunt guy who has
Yeah.
like who had like personality in the movie.
I get it. I
Yeah,
get it. I've never seen a Jackie Chan movie, but I get it.
they're so fun. They're not good movies, but they're a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, ultimately, I'm happy with it. I'm gonna dye it again at some point soon.
Oh, sure.
I also had to do so much to it that my hair is more
Little
damaged than
pride.
it's ever been in its life.
Sure.
So I'm also just like letting it sit
Yeah.
and heal for a little bit too, because
I sent you a TikTok of somebody reviewing different hair colors. I don't know if you saw it.
I did.
But there was a brand called Strawberry Leopard, I think, something leopard. And I was like, "Ooh, I want to try that because the reviews were incredible.
Okay.
I want to try it
Yeah.
too. Next time I color my
Well,
hair."
see, it's been a bit since you've had your
It
hair
has been a
colored.
bit. I've just been busy.
Yeah, super busy. Why? What have you been up to?
You know. In upcoming news with me, I am hired to choreograph at Valley College again. Very excited about that.
Incredible.
Yeah, so we're going to be doing Shrek in the fall, which is a big show. It's got a lot of numbers. I love it. I love Shrek, one of my favorite shows. And I'm really excited to do a big, like, full tilt musical,
Yeah.
that's got like dance numbers instead of the last show I did, which was like weird. It's just like, it's hard to describe if you're like not a musical theater person, but it's like there's songs and there's some movement, and that was the last show I did.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
This is
yeah.
Shrek, and it's got like Broadway big tilt dance numbers.
Oh yeah, but it's a big Broadway show, right?
Pretty
Like,
much,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I'm excited to do that.
That's awesome. I'm excited about that one. That'll be fun. Well, now that all that's out of the way, I want to talk about what has very quickly become one of my favorite games, Ghosts of Tsushima. So, the Ghost of Tsushima is an action adventure game set on the real island of Tsushima. I hope I'm pronouncing all this right. By the way, I think I am. This is as close to as they say in the game as I can get. So, apologies for being white here. Set on the island of Tsushima during the first Mongol invasion of Japan. You play as one Jin Sakai, an honorable samurai who learns that if he wants to save his home from the Mongol invasion, he must unlearn the code of honor instilled in him by his uncle, or else let the invaders win. So, Brendan, what do you know about this game?
Absolutely nothing. I know it's an RPG, and I know that it's set on the real island of Tsushima because you just said it.
Yep, those are both definitely
That is
facts
both definitely facts about this
about
game.
this game.
I imagine that it plays like a Souls like. Am I close in that estimation?
I'd say kind of. My equivalent was a little bit more closer to like something like a Shadow of Mordor or even like an Arkham Asylum kind of game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it is very open. Because it is open world, but it is also still a much more linear style of game than like a Dark Souls or like something like that, which is pretty much just like there is definitely a plot to it, but it is sort of just like, all right, here's your guy, go.
Okay, so a little reined in from there, but what's the gameplay like? Is it like difficult? A lot of like throwing yourself at enemies, or
The gameplay definitely encourages you to like walk into encounters with the idea of like, no, I'm going to go fight.
Hmm,
But whether that's like going in stealthily or like walking into straight combat with somebody, it's like it is one of the more malleable games I've played in a long time in terms of like what it will how it kind of lets you develop your soft gameplay. Like if you're much more of like a stealth oriented person, you
mm-hmm.
could definitely go into, even though there's like chapters in the game where it's like it forces you into like that classic like samurai style combat of like face your enemy head on and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
You could definitely opt into a lot more of like a stealth option for the game, or vice versa if you're more of like a run and gun kind of person. It allows that openness more too. And again, the opposite being that it's like there's some missions where it's like, no, you got to be stealthy on this one, else you will fail the mission, kind of a
Gotcha.
thing.
Sure.
But generally, it's very, because like I tend to run more middle ground with that kind of gameplay
Mm-hmm.
if the game gives me the option. as like, like all stealth to an extent. But then if I get caught by the guards, I'm not going to try to sneak away again. I'll just be like, cool, let's just go into combat.
Now we're fighting. Yeah.
Yeah, now we're just fighting. Cool. All right, cool.
Yeah.
I took out your archer, so I'm cool.
Gotcha.
I'm good with this.
Very cool. So tell me more about the plot, because I don't know anything at all about this game. You're a samurai type guy, and you've got to fight the ghosts, right?
Well, no, that's cool. I'm glad that you actually said it that way, because what it is that you actually become the ghosts of Tsushima.
Whoa, I am become ghost.
Yeah, because
okay.
it's like the main point of the game is the building is the idea is that, okay, so to give you the plot a little bit here.
Yeah.
The game starts off with you and your uncle, Lord. Let me get back down here real quick just to make sure I have it right.
Lord some guy.
Lord some guy. No, it's going to be Lord Shimura, which is your uncle in the game, and he is I think it's pronounced it's spelled Jito, but I think in Japanese it's pronounced Ito of Japan, which Ito of or Jito of Tsushima, which is basically like would be like our equivalent of like the governor.
Okay.
Of it, you know what
He's
I mean?
in charge.
Yeah, because it's like on the main island of Shogun, the main island of Japan are the shoguns who are like the leaders there,
overall leaders.
But he still has to answer to them.
The shogun. Okay.
Yeah, he still has to answer to the shogun of Japan on the mainland.
Yeah.
But you are both samurai, and the game starts like on the day that the Mongols invade the island. And the whole game runs into this whole thing of just like the honor of the samurai, and like just like you face your enemy head on, you give them a chance, you always give them like the honorable chance and whatnot. And the game starts off with you watching your uncle send another samurai down to meet with the Mongols. You watch this guy ride down, and he basically goes up and goes like, hey, we don't need to get everybody killed here. You send out your best warrior, I'll face him head on. If
we'll do like trial by combat.
Yeah, we'll do like a trial by combat thing, honorably thing here, and whoever wins that will do the whole thing. And then the leader of the Mongols, one General Khotan Khan, is drinking like some sort of alcohol out of a thing. He chucks it onto the samurai, then grabs a torch and throws it on him. And that's the beginning of the game. So it strikes a very quick tone of like, here is where that separation of the samurai fight with honor. These guys could give less than a fuck about that kind of thing.
Right.
But the cool thing the game does is that it as you progress is that it teaches you to sort of like unlearn some of those codes of honor that are instilled in Jin Sakai, because that's the only way he's going to be able to stave off the Mongol invasion.
Gotcha.
Because they show up and like, as far as everybody's concerned, kill pretty much all of the samurai. It's even like led to like suggested at the beginning of the game that Jin dies on the battlefield too, which is what. But then you come back and you go and try to face off the Khan, and he throws you off a bridge, presumably leaving you for dead. But then you have to bring yourself back and build your own legend as the ghost. Is what it is. And
interesting.
And it's a balance. And the cool thing is that in the story, it's a balance trying to strike in the game of like, he wants to inspire fear in the right people, but inspire the right people as well. Do you know what I mean? Like for the people on the island who live there, he wants to be perceived as like a hero and a point of inspiration of like, no, we can fight off the Mongol invasion. But for the Mongols, he wants to become the legend that they fear.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds really cool.
It is cool.
It sounds like a very serious
It is a very serious game. But what's cool about it is that it never like, because sometimes like even games that I love, like Gears of War and stuff that have a more serious tone to them, it's so serious that it starts to feel flat. If that makes sense, you know what I mean? Like the tone just like kind of stays like one note the whole time. This has a very serious tone, but it doesn't stay one note the whole time. But without like breaking into like just like randomly interjecting like dumb jokes that just make it feel like, oh, well, you thought you had to break up the monotony of how serious your game is and whatnot. But there's definitely humor in the game.
Yeah.
But there's also such a variation in like the characters you interact with and like the side quests and missions you go on. There's a whole thing in the game that I love where it's literally just like Legends is different from it, but it's like but that's the best equivalent I could use to describe it. You go and find these people who are like storytellers. And they have like these like legends of like lore that happen on Tsushima. Like some say that this warrior died, but his spirit still fights, and if you go fight his spirit, you could get his armor or his sword, and it's stuff like that. It kind of gets in, and the game like kind of like tips its toes into the idea of like mysticism, but without like just like giving you magic powers.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
There's like something going on, and then in turn you become a ghost too, so you're kind of becoming part of the fabric of the legend of everything that's happened on the island.
That's the
It
thing
seems,
too. Yeah,
yeah.
is that it's like it gives you that feel of like, well, eventually I will be this thing that people tell stories about. Of just like, yeah, the ghost of Tsushima, which is really, it's just, yeah,
Very cool.
yeah. And your legend has you level up your legend too, and that has different titles to it. So it's like the first one on there is just like the wandering samurai or something like that, and then eventually you literally just like level up to the ghost.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah,
Very cool. So then what's going on, like what else are you doing in the game? There's an exploration aspect, I assume.
yeah. Which is one of my favorite parts of the game. Like normally the way that I play games like this, like whether it's Mass Effect or like a Fallout or something like that, I'll just kind of like blast through the main storyline at first,
Mm.
just to like to get a feel for it, and then on my second playthrough, or like that more equivalent would be like a Jedi Survivor, just gonna blow through the main quest of the game real quick just to get a feel for it, and then on my second playthrough, then I'll really go explore and run around and whatnot because now I'm like, well, now I know what the game's about.
Cannot
I
relate.
listen, yeah, I know, I know, I know, I know, I
I
know.
cannot go through a game like that. I'm like, that's the main quest. Great, I'm not going there.
Yeah, truly.
And explore everything else
Yeah.
first.
But like I was playing this game, and this is the first time I've done this in a long time too. I was playing this for like 3 or 4 hours at a time, just like straight.
Mhm.
Some nights on my days off, this was all I did. So we're talking like 7, 8 hours of just
Yeah,
like me sitting there playing a game, which I haven't done in so long.
yeah.
And it didn't feel like I was doing, and it didn't feel like a chore either, which was the really cool thing. It's got a good balance to that.
Hmm.
I would just have days playing where that was all I did. I just ran around looking for stuff
Hmm.
because there's also so many cool random things to look for too. Because like, yeah, there's like the side quests to go look for and those legends I was talking about,
Hmm.
which are cool. But then there's all these other like little things that are, wow, you were saying about the cats. Don't know if the mics picked it up, but the cats are at the door currently trying to break in like a zombie horde.
To break again.
They're getting in. um, but then there's like, there's like all these things that all like add to the game and like give you skills and upgrades and whatnot. But literally you can like, you'll just be like going along and all of a sudden just like this very pretty yellow bird will just kind of come to your purview and you're like, that's interesting. I wonder where that's going. And you'll just start following this yellow bird and it'll like take you to like a spot where there's like
Hmm.
bamboo to cut down. It'll take you to like a farm that's been taken over by the Mongols for you to fight off and
Hmm.
whatnot. But then literally it'll also just be like, hey, here's a cool spot just to go chill, go write a haiku.
Huh.
Yeah, there's a mechanic for writing haikus in this
So
game.
you're like a poet warrior.
Well, that is part of like like the origins of like the samurai and stuff like that. Was
Hmm.
like that was a part of what that like this whole bullshit that we have about like just like poetry and whatnot is like girly and feminine shit. It used to be very, very fucking manly
Huh.
to write poetry and stuff like that. Like it started, that was, like whether it was like stuff like with the samurai, like helping like find themselves moments of calm and peace and centering themselves and whatnot.
Mm.
Or like if you're talking how we used to woo people back in the days, like we would write poetry. That's how we did shit. So it's
Mm.
like, you know, it's been a little bit of a hostile takeover on the idea of like whether of what's toxic masculinity is bad. That's what I'm trying to get at, basically.
And as is always the point of every episode of ours,
Yes.
toxic masculinity, bad.
Yeah. But like, there's also a cool thing too, where it'll lead you to stuff where like your character Jin Sakai, I forget the name of it, I didn't write it down, I apologize. Has a deep connection to like a spirit that is a spirit in like the world that is like has a connection to foxes in the world. So you'll find these trees where you just find these little foxes just like chilling, and then you just like go chase them, and they'll lead you to a shrine where you can like go and honor real quick,
Hmm.
and that'll like unlock charms and stuff for you.
Neat.
Yeah. So it's all stuff that is like there to fill out the flavor of the world, but it all still like lends back into like the actual gameplay. It's the perfect merger of like filling out the world with stuff for you to do that makes sense for the world itself, adds to the story component of it,
Hmm.
but also is there to work mechanically as a gameplay. Like you could find these like hot springs that if you go and use them, you get this like little inner monologue that you could kind of like choose a couple options from the character of like reflect on your uncle or reflect on the island itself or reflect on battle or like stuff like that. And you get this like cool little inner monologue moment, but then your health bar goes up a little bit.
Hmm.
And it's like it's totally optional. You don't have to do this stuff, but like it's beneficial for like literally every single means of the game in order to do it.
Right.
And the game is so pretty
Yeah.
that you want to go look at stuff too. Like that's the other part of it too. It's a gorgeous game. I cannot stress enough how good looking this game is.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, we've talked about exploration and how pretty the game is and sort of the plot. What about the combat? That's got to be a major part of the game.
The combat is huge. I talked about it a little bit. There's sort of like basically like two components to it, but each one has so many like levels to it. So I'll start with like the base level because this is where it starts you off is like the main combat, like walking up to somebody and just like starting a fight with them basically. Closest I would say would probably be either like a Shadow of Mordor or like an Arkham Asylum because it is that like parry, keep attacking, like kind of a thing, but it's not directly like ripping anything off. It still manages to be its own beast in its own way.
Okay.
Because it is that like, it's samurai combat. So you want that like precise, you want it to be like, I feel like I'm doing like precise strikes that are like cutting through the armor exactly where they need to and whatnot and hitting critical points in my opponent and whatnot. But still, but like you throughout the game, you unlock different stances that are like beneficial versus like different opponents. So there's also a variation on opponents. Like there's just like these big brute guys that it's like, okay, use stone stance because that's going to be the thing that just like hits them really hard over and over and over again and can stagger them. Or like,
Okay.
opponents with spears. There's water stance and stuff like that. My favorite thing in it is that there's standoff mode in the game, which is if you see like a group of enemies that haven't seen you yet, you could sneak up on them and whatnot, or you challenge them to a standoff, which is what I was kind of talking about before.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Is that you literally just Jinsakai will just call and be like, send out your best warrior, and then you and one dude will just like that classic, just like I don't know how familiar you are with like staring each other down for a minute, and then like the game makes you like wait and hold your attack until they start attacking, and then that's when you could strike and you can take them down in a single hit.
Interesting. That's very, very interesting. And it's cool that we're still finding new ways to make combat in video games different and exciting.
Yeah. Well, and also like inviting that field because like, if you watch any of like the old like samurai movies or if you watch like anime at all, like if you're a samurai like Champloo fan or anything like that, you want that. You want that moment of like I took this guy down in like one clean strike and I sent blood flying everywhere.
It's more about an economy of like combat. In that you're trying to do minimal strikes in a way.
Yes.
Hit him where it hurts, do precise strikes instead of like hacking somebody down with a sword.
Yeah. The game encourages you to avoid just like hard button mashing, which does happen because there's a moment of panics for everybody and whatnot. But it does encourage a much more of like a strategy based, like I want to go in like this and get out of there as quickly and cleanly as I possibly can. Like it doesn't punish you too much for it, but like I always hated taking damage because I was just like, it feels so much better to like be the cool samurai who goes in, cuts everybody down, and walks out without like spilling a drop of their own blood. It just feels so much cooler.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. But then on the stealth side of it, like it also flows into it really, really well, especially for a game like this. I feel like that like you could sometimes one feels a little bit messier than the other one does, or like this was like tacked on later, but like it totally makes sense. Like, but also like involved for the story is that it's like the whole, at least in the conceit of the game. I don't know, like, and when I say like, oh, and this is the thing for samurai, I'm talking out of my ass based on what I learned from the game. I know nothing about the actual history of Japan or the samurai themselves. Do not take anything I say as gospel, please. Um, but at least in the like it's presented in the game is that like no matter what, the samurai will meet their enemies head on. You never stab somebody from behind. You never sneak up on an opponent because that's not honorable. It's the honorable way to do things. So the beginning of the game happens. Jin Sakai is thought to be dead. He is saved by this woman named Yuna, who has been living on the streets as a thief pretty much since she was a kid. And she kind of runs the exact opposite of how the samurai do. There's literally a moment at the beginning when you wake up and there's a Mongol invader coming in to check to like see what's going on. She like shoves you under. It's like hide. Just don't make a sound. Don't say anything. And and she plays like scared woman when the Mongol comes in. And it's like, oh god, please don't hurt me, and like cowers away. As soon as he turns around, she stands up and just fucking stabs him in the neck. And Jin Sakai is like, you killed him with no honor, and she's just like, some of us don't have the privilege.
Let's talk about it. Being a woman,
which is, I mean, honestly, it is a really interesting thing that the game dives into too, without it doing that like blatant thing of like, oh, we're talking about this issue, of it being like, yeah, like these ideas of like these hard codes of ethics and like honor and whatnot, they do kind of come from a place of privilege.
That's exactly what I was just thinking.
And it's just like it points out too when like she even like tells him just like, hey man, like if you have any hope of stopping this thing, especially since most of the samurai on the island have already fallen, this is kind of have to be the way that we go about this.
Mhm.
And it becomes really interesting when you meet up with your uncle later in the game and those ideas start to clash with this because he is very intent on like keeping
Sure.
true to the code of like honor and whatnot that he has set down. But the stealth missions are cool too, and they also what is also really cool is that it also adds to your lore as the ghost as well, because you literally start like you'll meet people who don't realize that like you're the ghost, and they'll start like telling you things of just like, yeah, I heard this thing called the ghost just showed up and just like nobody saw him at all, but a whole like farm of Mongols just like got completely wiped out, and you're like, interesting, bye. Just like you just kind of like fade off without telling him anything. Just like
What
yeah,
an interesting thing that happened. Okay, bye.
yeah, crazy how that
I
works
don't
out
know a
like
thing
that.
about that.
Yeah. Anyway, I gotta go.
Yeah. You've talked about a few different characters like Yuna and the obviously the main character and your uncle. Are there other characters that make this game like very memorable or enjoyable?
There is a woman I want to talk about from this game
Okay.
because it ties into some dumb crap that's happening with the sequel for this game that's gotten out, the Ghost of Yatai.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because everyone's complaining because now the main character is a woman for the Ghost of Yatai.
Shock.
So
Ugh.
so now
A woman
yeah,
being the main character?
yeah, yeah, because like
Shut up.
because yeah, exactly, because it's like, oh, they went woke and blah 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 blah. Just like spoiler alert, guys, Ghost of Tsushima was always woke because one of my favorite characters is a woman named Lady Masako. Her zhuzh kind of for the game is that after the Mongols invaded, her family was betrayed by somebody on the inside, and while she was away, somebody killed her husband, her children, and her grandchildren, and she came back home to find them all dead.
Jesus.
Yeah, and then like her side quest is like trying to figure out like who was it that betrayed her family and whatnot. But there's a very particular part of the quest where you meet up with somebody who was, I think, a character who was like supposed to be like just sort of like a chambermaid for the family. You find out that this other woman and Lady Masako straight up were having an affair together.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so there is a very so there's a very gay character in this game as well. So it's like, I'm sorry guys, it was already fucking woke as hell. Hate to ruin it for you, but there was an old ass lesbian in this game the whole time.
So get fucked.
Yeah. But she is such a compelling character too, because like she's on this quest for revenge.
Mm.
And it's watching Jen interact with her in a way that's like, well, he's struggling with this whole idea of honor and whatnot, but still watching her just like ruthlessly fucking kill people and like jumping into being like, I'm just gonna go kill this guy. And Jen's like, you don't even know if he's actually involved yet or not. And she's like, no, but I know. And it's like, okay, but let's like make sure before we go chopping heads off, like before we do all that, you know.
Mhm.
But also like you can't blame her. Like I love incredibly tragic characters like this because it gives them license to kind of do really really dark shit in stories like this, and as a player and as an audience you're kind of watching and going like, I mean, I get it, but I think he's right. I think you need to rein it in a little bit here. And then there's also it also adds into the story too because there's all this stuff about like, you know, when do we forgive? When do we move on from the pain? Like when do we let this trauma? How do we let this trauma go and whatnot? So it all just like it's. I love watching puzzle pieces of a story kind of like fit together, and when everything just like feels like it just like clicks in, right? It's just like it's so satisfying. And Lady Masako is just like a prime example to me of like the perfect fit for um, a game like this. I also really love. There's a great thing that happens between Jensakai's best friend and him. His name is Ryuzo. He's the leader of another group, what is called the Straw Hats. So, like at least in the context of the game, like samurai or like would be like official soldiers in the military. Straw Hats are sort of like a mercenary group that exists on the island as well. So they're more like hired swords, basically, and whatnot.
No relation to One Piece, correct?
No,
Straw Hats.
no. One Piece got their name. The Straw Hats did. This I do know. Straw Hats did exist.
Did actually exist.
Did actually
Gotcha.
exist. Straw Hats comes from that. But it starts off as this thing where it's like there's clearly like this weird tension there because of like this tournament that you were both in that your character Jin just kicked Ryuzo's ass in, and he's kind of always held it against him. And then this actually kind of leads to a point in the game. Spoiler alerts, by the way, where Ryuzo actually betrays Jin and joins the Mongols. And it's like, man, I love a good enemies to friends, but friends to enemies is also my other favorite. Like, yeah, but it's heartbreaking when it happens too, because like the game
Right.
develops these like character relationships so well, and goes with the benefit of like, without like going into like a bunch of there's flashbacks with your uncle, but like without doing a flashback with every character in the game, is really good at like using previous history that we don't see as like established
Hmm.
for these characters, which means you're walking into something that is like familiar, which is cool too.
Hmm.
Yeah, because it's like there's all this history that's already there, and it's like the game is just like, yeah, these people know each other. Here's kind of the zhuzh of what it is at the basics, and it'll fill in blanks when it needs to, but like it doesn't. It's not too heavy-handed with exposition, which in a game like this could easily happen. Which I appreciate that it does not do that.
Very cool. You've kind of talked about the world and everything, but do you have anything else that you want to add on?
I mean, it's just we've talked a lot about games like Mass Effect on here, where it's you have the galaxy and then some at your disposal. I don't know if I've played a game that has a more rich and like filled world than this does. And part of it is that it has that, it's got the it you know it's a PS5 game. It's working on like a really
Yeah.
powerful console.
Yeah.
So it's got that ability to literally be like, you could start at the top of the map and ride your horse all the way down to the bottom of it. And it's a pretty damn big map without like load screens and whatnot. So that
Yeah.
helps make it feel like more vibrant and rich and whatnot. But it's just I really do like kind of struggle to find the words for just like how special I think this game is. Like I really struggle for this one. Um because it's just like it taps into something very immersive that also to me is like proof of concept that not every video game that I play has to be from the perspective of a white man
Mm.
for me to get immersed and understand the character that I'm playing as. Because yeah, I obviously I don't know what it's like to be a Japanese samurai. I don't think that's shocking news for anybody. It turns out.
I'm beside myself. I can't believe
Can't believe it.
I had this image of you in my head, and you completely shattered it.
I really thought that you always looked at me as like an honorable Japanese samurai.
Yeah.
But like at the very least, like the ideas of like, when do you start breaking away from what the people who raised you always taught you, and start listening to the other people that you've pulled into like your found family around you, or even just like yourself, and learning how to like to really think on your own and look at things and go like, okay, no, this is actually how I feel, and not just based off of like what somebody else told me that this is how I should feel about this thing too. I think anybody could relate to those.
Super relatable.
Super relatable.
Super relatable.
Yeah, I think everybody can kind of relate to that. So just like, it's really cool to see something that just like has that point to it, and like the end game for it is that it's like, no, you learned the right lesson. And I'm not going to give away too much for the ending here, um, because I do think that if you ever get the chance, this is something that you should definitely play. Like again, one day I'm just going to give you my PlayStation and just let you like play games.
Okay.
Yeah. But like that, even though like yes, that is the right lesson, that doesn't necessarily mean that that lesson comes easy or that it comes without heartbreak.
Right.
Because it is like, I'd say it's technically a happy ending to the game, but the way that things end between Jin and his uncle is not the most uplifting thing. Like no matter, it lets you, there's some options the game lets you have for how you like proceed on things, but it doesn't make you walk away feeling really good about it.
That makes sense.
The epilogue is rough, I'll put it that way.
Ooh, that's fine. I like it.
Yeah.
Especially, I like a story that makes you a little sad at the end, you know?
Me too. Not everything has to be, especially in video games. I think it's still like kind of a really bold thing to go in and be like, no, we're gonna make the player walk away with like mixed feelings. Because like, there's still this general idea that like video games are just there for pure entertainment, and that they can't be compelling stories and blah 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 blah. So when something like this comes along and kind of breaks that mold a little bit, I think it is something really really special.
I'm going through that in a game that I'm playing right now. Tune into the next episode if you want to hear about that game.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely like not always walking away feeling great.
Yeah.
When I'm playing that game. I'm going to ask you to rate the game on a series of different factors, 1 through 10, 10 being the best. Gameplay, 0 through 10.
10. Easily
Yeah.
10.
Okay. Graphics and like the look of the game, the design and the art.
10. Like
Wow.
there's really no like, yeah.
Wow. What else do people rate games on?
I can just probably tell you right
Writing.
now, the lowest writing to 11.
Oh
The
wow.
writing for this game is incredible. It's
Wow.
such good writing. It's incredible writing. It's some of the best writing regardless of the medium, just some of the best writing I've seen.
If you had
Period.
to give one critique to this game, what would you
More.
give?
There's not enough. I want more of it. Give me the sequel now. Give it to me. I really like. I don't know. I think this might be a perfect game.
I love that.
I
Oh
really
my
think it might be a
gosh.
perfect game.
Well, perfect game alert. I would ask for your overall score now at this time, but I'm assuming you're giving it a 10.
1,000.
1,000.
1,000 is what I'll give it. This game's so damn good.
That's awesome. Wow. Okay, so pick up Ghost of Tsushima. Can you play it on any other console other than PS5?
It's an exclusive. I think it's maybe on PC, but it was definitely like a PS5 exclusive. To which
Gotcha.
I love the Xbox. It couldn't. It couldn't.
Xbox would never.
You would like if you did run it on the Xbox, you would lose a lot of you would have to lose a lot of like graphic potential or something, and it was just like it's part of the charm for the game. So like, yeah, sorry, this one needs to be on the PlayStation or on a
Gotcha.
PC.
Hey, you know what? That's how it goes. So
Yeah.
pick up Ghost of Tsushima. Highly recommend it. It gets a 3BO stamp of approval.
Yeah.
All right, now that that is over, we have reached the bonus round. We've got a little special something prepared for today. So, our producer has prepared a series of phrases and game titles. We're going to be doing another round of Pitch the Game, but there's a little twist with it. So what's going to happen is there's a title that we've been given. That's the title of the game. We have to describe the game, and as we're describing it, there is a phrase that we have to work into the pitch and description of the game, and it's up to the other person to figure out what the given phrase was in the pitch. So they're ridiculously outlandish phrases, and so we're gonna have to say ridiculously outlandish things so as to cover up the the secret phrase. So I'm gonna kick us off. This is gonna be ridiculous. The first one's a doozy.
You got this. I believe in you.
Do not.
I fully believe in you.
Okay. So I'm not gonna be able to get through this. Okay, so
Here, I'm
gonna start with the game title.
I'm just gonna go neutral forward and just listen. I'm not gonna watch you, so that way I don't try to pick up any hints physically on.
That's great. That's great. You're very honorable.
Yeah.
Okay, so the okay, I'm gonna be able to do this. I swear. Okay, the game is the game title is Laser Grandma 5000. You see why I was struggling? Damn it.
Oh my god.
Okay, so it's sort of like a a life sim, or have you seen Power Washer or Flip It, where you're
Yes.
it's first person and the graphics are kind of simplified. It's like that, okay, but like a life sim. Okay, so you're a baby, you get born, and you are given a gun. It's like a laser gun, and it helps you do things as you grow up, so but it's your gun and you're the only one that has it. Okay, so the thing is, you only have one clip. You have one clip in the gun, and you only have so many lasers, but it's an extra special gun because every time you reload, you get a new childhood. So you go through life shooting and growing up until you become a grandma, and or the goal is to become a grandma. Right? It's kind of like a roguelite. You keep throwing yourself at it, but once you run out of lasers, you have to reload, you get a new childhood, and you have to start over. So you, the ultimate goal is to become a grandma and then shoot the baby with the laser gun. And then you win. And it's a very stupid roguelike game. Okay, did you figure out what my secret phrase was?
You know those nights when you go out drinking and then you step out of the bar and then the crazy drunk homeless dude corners you and just rambles a bunch of nonsense to you?
Yeah, I know.
This put me in that. It's like you're a baby, right? And you only got a certain number of lasers in the clip. You got to reload, but every time you reload, you start over as a baby.
Oh my god. Uh-huh.
And the point is to become grandma and kill the baby. Like it's.
So what's your guess? What was the secret phrase?
Oh yeah, I forgot that that's what we had to do too.
Yeah.
What I really gotta say, you hit it. Whatever it was, you hit it pretty damn well in there because
I have no idea how I managed to pull it off.
I have no clue. Oh my god. I'm gonna say just based on okay, I'm gonna try to track some logic here. So my thinking is that what you did was that you got given the title and then were given something simple, so you had to work it into the gameplay itself. So I'm gonna say my best guess was something with the. Actually, no. I'm gonna go with my first instinct and just be like it was whatever the phrase you said at the end about like grandma has to shoot the baby or something like that.
Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer because I got nothing else.
That is not the phrase.
I figured it would be wrong.
I remembered right at the end, I was like, oh my god, I have to say something else that's very outlandish to make it seem like the phrase.
Nice move.
Like I've been working up to this phrase the whole time. No, the phrase that I was given was every time you reload, your character gets a new childhood. And I was trying to like
genuinely was gonna guess that. Damn it.
Yeah.
Damn
the
it.
whole pitch revolved around working that phrase in.
Genius move.
Thank you.
Genius
Would
move.
you play that game?
No.
Not me either.
It's no weird. That sounds like the weirdest thing that you buy off of Steam for like a penny.
Yes, that's exactly what I was channeling.
Like some dude's weird student project that he did.
I had to make it as realistic a game as possible for me to be able to talk about it.
Oh yeah.
I interpreted reload as a respawn once you die. I interpreted it as like reloading a gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he made it both. Every time you reload the gun, you have to respawn because you're reloading the gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was like, how you reload, you get a new childhood. That basically is respawning. Okay, the game is about. You know.
I could see the gears clicking as you were going along. Like I could hear it. It's like, and then when you reload, it starts a new childhood. It's like a roguelite because then you have to reset.
Yes. I was like, oh, I just hit a roguelike. That's exactly what I did.
It's
this is a
incredible.
real game. This is legitimate. It could be a game.
All right. Send me mine. I've got this.
All right. I'm looking right to camera. I'm going to be totally neutral. It's not going to beat Laser Grandma 5000.
Okay. I've got this. So this is gonna be a full-on like cooking sim, like sort of not quite like what's that multiplayer one that we used to play? Oh, sorry. The game title is Cosmic Soup, Stir of Destiny.
Stir
of Destiny. Single stir of Destiny.
Cosmic Soup, Stirrer of Destiny.
Stir of Destiny.
Got it. Continue.
One stir, just one stir, just one stir. It's very, very important.
The stir.
It's the stir. It's the stir. It's Stir of Destiny.
Copy.
So yeah, this is definitely going to be a cooking sim, a la something kind of like Overcooked, where it's like it's very frantic.
Okay.
It's set in a kitchen. You are taking over like your family business that serves like wontons, soups, noodles, broth, all that good stuff. Like basically like a sort of like some of like Asian style restaurant that does everything. But the only way that you could figure out like how to make this business like it's one of those things where it's like your family died, tragic, sad, unfortunate, and you have to take over and whatnot. But the spirits of the family are still sending you messages in order like how to properly run the kitchen and how to like make the food and what to serve people, who to serve, because there's some people that come in that are just like trying to ruin the restaurant, destroying and whatnot. But the only way that they could get information to you is through those little pieces of paper that are on the fortune cookie. So all dialogue is delivered to you via fortune cookie in this game. It's the only way you get information in this thing.
Okay.
So you have to be able to like decipher what is said on there because it's still like fortune cookie level stuff. So it's like, grass
cryptic.
Is always greener. It's cryptic and you have to learn how to decipher it. And if you decipher it wrong, that's how you fuck up in the game. You lose points. But if you get it right, that's how you get to move forward onto bigger and better things. And you could help the restaurant grow depending on how you interpret some of the fortunes. You could turn it into a franchise. You could really expand out from there and whatnot, or keep it local and just like if that's what your family wants, keep it in that sphere. So that is my pitch for Cosmic Soup Stir of Destiny.
Okay.
So, Brendan, did you think you got my phrase?
I don't know. But I want to play this game.
This one sounds
That
fun.
actually sounds delightful.
This sounds really fun, yeah.
That sounds wonderful. Can you repeat your whole pitch to me again?
No, because I don't know what the fuck I just said.
I'm gonna guess that it's something wherein you were talking about the family having to deliver messages or like something like that.
Something with the family delivering messages.
Something with the family. I don't remember what you said exactly, but like something with the family delivering messages through the fortune cookies. That's what I'm gonna guess.
Nailed it, actually.
Yes!
That is exactly it.
Good. Okay.
The phrase I was given was all dialogue is delivered via fortune cookie.
Amazing. Ha! I'm winning.
I will say mine fit into the theme a little bit more than yours did.
They definitely fit together a little better. I was clued in because the first thing you started talking about was like Asian inspired dishes.
Yes.
So I was like, okay, we moved in that direction to get us closer to the fortune cookies. So I figured it was that.
100%. Yeah.
No, good job though. I was like genuinely like, I don't know.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you. But yeah, you got it though.
But you did pitch an excellent game.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I want to play that. Okay, no.
Speaking like multiple crazy mechanics, you know.
We're doing the best we can.
I just got locked in on that one. I'm like, no, this is actually a cool game.
We'll have to.
I would actually play the hell out of this game.
Sorry, my brain doesn't come up with phrases such as every time you reload, your character gets a new childhood. That doesn't come to my brain very naturally. I'm sorry. I'll work on that.
Someone hasn't done enough drugs.
Okay. Okay. I've got this.
Okay.
Okay. So this is my pitch for a game called The Floor is Trauma.
Pause. Just pause.
You heard me.
No, I know I heard you. That's not the title for a game. That's just existence right now. It's just living in America at the moment. Okay, sorry, continue.
Okay, so The Floor is Trauma is played in such a way that it's kind of like It Takes Two. So it's like a two-player co-op type of game. And the main mechanic, like the idea is that you've been like shrunk down and put into this horrible The Floor is Lava type game. So you have to traverse over big obstacles and make your way across these different like sort of arenas. And once you get to the end, you actually like drop into like a world. So the lava floors kind of bridge the floors, like bridge the different levels, right? But then you drop into a level and it's like a memory, right? That you are reliving like with your partner over the course of like this relationship, right? So it's like, oh, our first Christmas, you know, or oh, like whatever, like the various and sundry different experiences, right? So like the birth of the child and like that time that we went to Mount Everest, whatever, you know, like things like that, right? And so you continue and continue, and then in the middle of the whole ordeal, it's all too much for you both, and you split up, okay? And then it's about like going your separate ways, and it's about like it's not as inspirational as It Takes Two. I'll give you that. But it's about introspecting and like working through trauma and things, and then towards the end, like you kind of reconcile, and then you finally you like go into the final boss together, and the final boss is like your ex-therapist. So
What the fuck?
So. Because like that's and then you realize like, oh, this is all like sort of a dream that's been happening in the mind of the main character, because they've been going to therapy and like blah blah blah, and then at the end it's sort of like, oh, maybe we should split up, but it's better for us this way, and yeah.
Okay. First of all,
Pitched another terrible game.
I was to say, first of all, love the energy of a man who found out he had to pitch this 5 minutes before he pitched it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was just like I need to pitch this in 5 minutes and it has to work. Like
I thought if I was really earnest about the pitch, it would hide the phrase a little bit.
I think I do have a guess on the phrase.
Okay.
I think I have a guess on the phrase.
I think I gave it away.
I don't think you gave it away. I'm
Oh,
just like I'm
no.
just basing it off of like
Yeah.
how it struck me.
Yeah, because it's hard when you build the pitch around the phrase. Anyways,
Yeah.
continue.
I think it was like the line, I don't remember specifically, but it was the line about like your ex-therapist is like your enemy or something like that.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, it's my final answer.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah. I thought so.
The exact phrase was the final boss is your ex's therapist.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Oh, your ex's therapist.
I tried to like say it like a throwaway line, like it wouldn't matter. Like the final boss is your ex's therapist. Like
You did.
Good job. Yeah.
I had to like think back on it and be like, okay, wait a minute. Because I was just like, why is this all about like relationship trauma specifically?
Yeah.
And that's when it hit.
I mean, the title is The Floor is Trauma.
No, for sure. But trauma, trauma is literally anything.
All right, Jordan, I said the last one.
Okay, here we go.
All right. I hope it's really hard. I hope it's hard as my first one.
What is this fucking title? The title, I'll say for this one, the title is insane.
Wait, point check in. If you get this and I don't find the phrase, we tie.
Oh,
If I find it, then
yeah.
so no pressure.
What if the tiebreaker is just like who came up with better games?
Okay. I guess that's fine.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Okay.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I'm going to. I just need a second. Okay, I got this. The title for my game is a game about a game about feeling bad in a forest. That is the title of the game.
Yeah, this is another Steam 1 penny
Yeah.
title.
Yeah, this would be like if you went to see a movie called like About Car Crashes.
Okay, a game about feeling bad in a forest. Okay.
So it is so it's very sort of a la something like Don't Starve. It's sort of like a survival game of like you're stuck in a forest and you're there because you feel bad. But as those feelings of feeling bad manifest, you start to realize like it's not just about like you realize that like first thing you realize that you're lost in this forest now because you felt so bad while you were out in the forest. And on top of the feelings of like feeling bad and feeling lost and getting lost in the forest, you also realize that you're suffering from lycanthropy. And so what you have to do in this game is figure out how to, the first thing you think you have to do is you have to figure out how to find a cure for this, because you start you're transforming, you're fighting the transformation. There's ways to like kind of combat the transformation and whatnot. But you still end up transforming over the course of this night that you're out there, and there's campers out, there's like innocent animals out. You end up hurting a lot of things and a lot of people through struggling with this, with slowly becoming a werewolf. And as the game progresses, you slowly realize just like, oh, I know what the problem is. The problem is the moon itself. I have to go fucking fight the moon, because what bigger rival does a werewolf have than the moon itself? So it becomes a game about like figuring out just like how am I going to get this werewolf in order to fight the actual moon itself. But the game's not like realistic. So it's not like, it's not like you have to like craft a rocket ship and get to the moon. The moon is like an entity, like it's a living being in this thing that wouldn't you realize it starts like mocking you and turns itself into like the big baddie or the big rival of the game or whatnot. So it's about like you finding a way to like basically climb something high enough to get to the moon in order to fight it. So that's my game.
And you just feel bad and you find yourself in a forest fighting the moon.
Yeah, these things happen.
That's what this game is about.
These things happen. They happen all the time.
Okay. I think that your secret phrase has got to be something about what you said, like, I know what the problem is, the moon. I gotta go fight the moon. Is that it?
I'd say that's probably close enough.
It's something about the moon.
The phrase I got was the moon is your rival.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
These are hard because you end up centering so much around the phrase itself that it's hard to like for not getting it directly. Yeah.
Yeah, the only one that we deceived each other on was my very first
Your
one.
very first one. Yeah, that was it. That was it.
Which means I win.
I'd say, yeah, you were the only one who successfully deceived somebody in this whole thing. So I'd say, yeah.
It was the first one, to be fair.
But still, it was also
What was
the
first
most.
one? Oh, right.
It's also the most insane one you got.
That's so true. The most insane one either of us got, I think.
Yeah.
I think I would play that game though.
That one would also be
It
kind of
feels like
fun.
a little like fairy tale, like mythology. Like
that was kind of the vibe
the
I
first
wanted.
werewolf who had to fight the moon. I don't know. There's like something there.
There is something to.
Yeah.
It's a little like Dark Mother Goose kind of in a way.
A little bit. I'd play it.
Yeah, I like it. Okay. Thank you guys so much for listening to us talk about the game Ghost of Tsushima. What were some of your favorite moments, and are you excited about the sequel as well? Let us know in the comments.
And as always, if you have any ideas for future episode topics or things that we can discuss on the show, feel free to send us a message at 3VOpodcastteam@gmail.com. And you can follow us on every social media imaginable. We're all at 3VO Podcast everywhere, so go follow us. Like, subscribe, comment. It really makes a difference, and we will love you forever, and we'll give you kisses and stuff. So go follow us, and we'll see you next time. Bye.